Welcome to the only daily podcast focusing on compliance news of the day. Each morning, start your day with a cup of coffee and Tom Fox, the voice of compliance, to hear about 4 of the top compliance, corruption, or leadership stories you will need to start your day. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network.
First, a word from our sponsor. The Daily Compliance News for March 8, 2021, the Turbocharged edition. We begin with that story from Politico as Putin's war in the Ukraine has boosted U.S. anti-corruption crusaders really like nothing we've seen over the past 20 years. It has literally turbocharged the anti-corruption cause in Washington, with lawmakers on the both left and right calling for crackdowns on oligarchs close to the Russian leader who have hidden many of their assets in the West. The Biden administration and its allies are obliging, unveiling sanctions on several Russian tycoons, and of course, a very public show of seizing yachts. This is all under the moniker of klepto capture, including a task force by the Department of Justice to go after the Russian oligarchs. President Joe Biden said in the State of the Union, "We're going after your ill-gotten gains." Anti-corruption activists say the DOJ will need more money, staff, and patience, not just applause. Next up, from the New York Times, Jill Hazelbaker, a top executive, helped Uber change the narrative from crisis to safety. This was the company that had sexual harassment charges against it detailed in the ongoing report, and Ms. Hazelbaker helped to change that narrative. The question is, did the Uber get its house in order to actually change the culture, or was it simply a change in messaging? So let's hope it was a change in culture. Next up, from Radical Compliance, Matt Kelly reports on a speech by SEC Commissioner Allison Herrenlee given last Friday, which says that lawyers need to have additional responsibilities under Sarbanes-Oxley Section 307. And those additional responsibilities would be as gatekeepers to protect not just the clients who retain them, but a wide variety of additional stakeholders for any corporation that can include investors, potential investors, employees, third parties, suppliers, executive management, and of course, shareholders. This would be a huge change for the legal profession, as it would expand the definition of a client and put potential conflicting client relationships within one lawyer. So an interesting speech. It's not clear if it's a trial balloon or if it's something that the SEC will implement, but something worth taking note on. And finally, the NFL's nightmare has come to roost as Atlanta Falcons receiver Calvin Ridley bet on football games while he was a player in 2021. He's been suspended for the rest of this season, 2022, so he'll be able to play in no games. This is, like I said, the NFL's worst nightmare, have a player betting on NFL games while they're an NFL player. Let's hope it doesn't happen again. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network and a proud member of C-Suite Radio. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow.
This podcast is a part of the C-Suite Radio Network. For more top business podcasts, visit c-suiteradio.com.